Welcome to this session, Development Concepts and Theories. In the previous session, we talked about the various development theories. When we talk about development, about any country, it is important to talk about the well-being of the individual of the any particular country. So, to counter the modernization other development theories, many social scientists, they have proposed the alternative approaches to development. So, these alternative approaches to this development, they give importance to the individual above the society. Like for example, in the modernization and other theory, mostly they talked about country as an unit. When we talk about any development, they talked about the development of the particular country and they give less significance to the individual in the any society. But all these alternative approaches to development, they give importance to the individual above the society, and whatever the alternative approach, they have given the approach or discourse, it is plural in nature and they give importance to the participation of the people and they give importance to the concepts like equality, equity and alternative approaches. All the alternative approaches, they try to bring the inclusiveness in their approaches. Various social scientists, they have proposed the different alternative approach. The first approach is basic needs approach. This was proposed by the Paul Streeton. These alternative approaches to the development, it is rooted within the ideas of well-being, focuses on the fulfillment of the basic needs of the people like health, education, environmental issues, shelter, food. So, this approach, now it is not about the development, means not about the economic development. Development means we need to address the needs of the people in the any particular society. So, according to them, we cannot measure, like development can be measured, basically development means measured based on the economic terms, that is the gross domestic product or gross national GDP or GNP or industrialization. But this basic model approach talked about the physical quality of life index. When you measure the development of the any country, so not only about measuring the country's progress based on the GDP or GNP or industrialization, we need to include the certain aspects like the life expectancy, infant mortality and literacy of the particular country, that is more important. Basic needs approach provide adequate importance to the food and clean drinking water, importance of providing the decent shelter, and education is more important, and providing the secure livelihood to their people is much more important. And whatever the development we talk about, it should encourage the people to participate in decision making process. Participate in decision making process means we need to decentralize the development process. For example, if you want to implement any development programs to the any, like as far as India's example is concerned, if we implement any development programs in at the village level or panchayat level, even our urban areas, we need to make the people to actively participate in decision making process, whether they need particular programs, policies, whether do they accept, even if they accept also do they want to bring any changes in the existing policies. So, we need to make the people to actively participate in decision making process, and very important in the entire development process is to uphold the person's dignity and self respect. That is, so another development paradigm is proposed by the John Service. He postulated the new paradigm of development, that is called multiplicity or another development, which clearly stated that development must be conceived as an integral, multidimensional and dialectic process which can differ from country to country. So, like a modernization theorist, we cannot impose we cannot universalize the entire development process. development can be differ country to country based on the local situations. Even within the country also development can be differ from region to region. So, like for example, if you take the examples of development process in India, even for economic development, social development, other development indicators, it differs from state to state. Some countries, some states in India, they are industrially developed, but sometimes they may lag in certain social development indicators. Some states in India, they have much more developed in the social development indicators like health and education, but they economically they have not, we cannot compare the particular state based on economic development. So, it is not only development not only differs from country to country, even within the countries also development may differ from region to region. So, we cannot universalize the development. This another development paradigm was proposed by the John Service, Majid, Tehranian and Goran Hedabro. Like for example, this alternative development approach is the another important approach is the participatory approach. This when we talk about the participatory approach, most of the development organization, when they work in the field, they actively use the participatory approach. Participatory approach is that it strongly believe that people are at the core of development process. We need to give importance to the cultural identity of the local communities, and we need to democratize the entire development process, and the people's participation at all, we need to ensure that the people's participation at the all levels. Broidotti et al. This called this participatory approach for locally sustainable lifestyles, participatory democracy and recovery of dominated peoples over powered knowledge. So, when we talk about participatory approach, the best example is, as far as India is concerned, whatever the policies, programs we implement at the local level, like lowest development structure as far as India is concerned, the Gram Panchayat. So, when we implement, we must ensure that the people in the particular locality, when we need to ensure the participation of the people in the particular locality in an active manner. When we talk about participation also, we can talk about the active and passive participation, but this participatory approach clearly talk about the active participation of the local people in all policy making process, that is more important. When we talk about participatory approaches, all of you must be heard the word like even when you read the newspapers or when you look at the television channels, there is a phrases like making them masters of their own destiny and development with human face, growth with equity and equality access. These are the some of the terms you must be heard about when we talk about the participatory approach. So, participatory approach is the making the people to participate actively to decide their own destiny, and also it is respect and dignity for the others and providing opportunities for collective dialogue is more important as well as participatory approach is concerned. And also when we talk about participatory approach, we must be heard the word dialogical pedagogy. So, in the participatory approach stresses that opportunities to access participation and self management and bottom up decision making within an organization and formulation of policies and plans at the local level, that is the bottom up approach, that is more important as far as participatory approach is very important. Like a participatory approach, another very important approach is capability as development. This was proposed by the Nobel laureate Amartya Sen. According to Amartya Sen, we cannot define the development in terms of gross national product or gross domestic product or industrial output. So, we must consider well-being of the people is very important. Not only well-being, we must provide the freedom to the individuals, that is we must guarantee the freedom. According to Amartya Sen, freedom is nothing but better education, access to health, free from poverty and hunger, political and civil rights, All these, if you provide all this, then it will contribute for the freedom to the people, and this like a participatory and other approaches, these approaches also it consider people as a center of focus, and this capability approach talked about the capabilities of the individual. The capability of the individual means like I would like to explain little better in this about the capability approach. Capability of the individual means we must ensure the capability of the individual. If you ensure the capability of individual by providing education, necessary inputs for accessing health and other facilities, automatically they could able to enjoy the freedom. If they are able to enjoy the freedom, whatever they want to pursue in their lives, that is functioning, that can able to make in their life. So, it is very important to provide the it is very important to ensure the capability of the individual, that is more important. Next important approach is the right based approach. Like now in the 21st century we all also heard about the right based approach, rights of the individual. According to this right based approach, even United Nations Charter also clearly talked about the human rights of the individual. Human rights are the basic rights and freedom to which all human beings are entitled. This right based approach, it focuses on the distributive equality, and for example, as far as right based approach is concerned, in the first generation they were talked about the civil and political rights. The second generation they talked about the economic, social and cultural rights. Third generations they talked about the inalienable human rights, that is to any country if they want to implement any policies and programs, they must ensure that it should be inclusive, and they need to ensure the distributive equity, and whatever they implement it should be people centered, and human rights are the fundamental freedom of the individual. So, country must ensure the fundamental freedom of the individual, and they must ensure the participation, equity, non-discrimination and the self-determinations. These are the some of the factors which is part of the right based approach. When we talk about the right based approach, I can give you an example from an Indian context. If you look at the Indian context these days, based on the right based approach, most of the policies and programs are formulated like right to food, right to live, right to work, right to like dwelling spaces. So, if you see that all our policies and programs they formulated based on the right based approach. For example, right to work means even the government they have formulated the policy and they implemented the NREGA program. So, like for example, right to shelter, both urban and rural areas the government has implemented the housing schemes for the poor and other marginalized sections of the persons. So, most of the policies and programs in the 21st century, most of the countries they have implemented based on the right based approach. Not only individual countries, United Nations also they have formulated the Millennium Development Goal and Sustainable Development Goals. The Millennium Development Goals were formulated in the year 2000 and the Sustainable Development Goal is formulated in 2015 to set out by the UN for its members. This was have a linkage with the right based approach. For example, Millennium Development Goals, it has included the poverty reduction, elimination of hunger, health care, gender equality and environmental sustainability were some of the important 8 millennium goals. This was formulated in the year 2000 and it is targeted to achieve before 2015 by all the UN member countries, but most of the UN member countries they were not able to achieve in the year 2015. So, in the 2015 the United Nations set out the 17 sustainable development goals which included 169 targets which are to be fulfilled before 2030 as an agenda for global development. So, these initiatives also, if you look at these initiatives, it is inclusive and it has addressed the issues of the most disadvantaged people like women and other marginalized sections in the process of development. So, we were talked about the various development theories. Now, let us talk about the how these communication and development theories are interrelated. So, now let us talk about the approaches to development communications. These approaches to development communications, in the beginning most of these approaches to development communications are center, message, channel and receiver, that is SMCR model was perceived as a simple one way asymmetrical process. That is the like whatever the message sent through the channel without critiquing or without any participation, receiver will passively receive the information. This is the simple one way asymmetrical process, but most of the time most of the interdependency theorists who called for this sender message channel receiver model of communication, it is like a colonization, it was imposed by the western nations. So, interdependency theorists, they critiqued the existing paradigm of communication model and they want to decolonize the communication model, so of information conditions in the developing countries, and they have proposed, like Narula in 2014 proposed the new world information order. The communication has undergone a tremendous change. Initially it was considered as a passive audience, whatever the message sent, it was received by the people. As the year passed, because in the beginning most of the communication model was westernized or western oriented, but the basic needs approach was promoted by the Paul Streeton et al. In the 1979, established the community, they want to establish the community media networks to help the poor people who have denied access to mass media due to various socio-economic factors because of their location and other factors. So, according to them, the government must establish the community media networks. Like even some Latin American scholars, they have enriched the participatory model of development and communication by exposing the existing discriminatory approaches in the western model. Westernization of communication, mostly it has imposed the certain ideology to the people and they try to make the people as a mere receiver, a passive receiver of the informations whatever send it to them. So, Freire exposed this tendency of the westernization of communication, and this not only westernization, like for example, he proposed the another term, that is the tendency of assistantials by the poor. Like the poor, they receive many assistance from the international agencies, government or transnational agencies. So, this is like same like whatever the poor they receive as an assistance, same like in the communication also, it is like a tendency of assistantialism. Okay. So, he opposed the capitalist model of communications. Like according to them, if there is a capital of model of communication, like if the communication is managed by the transnational corporations, whatever the transnational corporations imposed on the people, that can be this new paradigm of development in 1970s proposed the two-way communications for development between authorities and audience. So, this new way communication, it talked about the bottom up interactive communication strategy, like scientists like social scientists like Paulo Freire, Luis Romero Beltran and Escobar, scholars from most of the scholars from Latin American countries, they have enriched the participatory model of development and communications. This was proposed, first was proposed by the Freire through his famous work Pedagogy of Oppressed. Okay. In the participatory communication, it is not like vertical model of communication, it is a horizontal communication process where even receiver also actively participate in the dialogue process and they evolve their own communication strategies. Like example is, best example I can quote here is that there is a many community radio stations. These stations has maintained, developed, maintained and run by the community and they can exchange the communications among themselves, and it is like a participatory running the entire communication process. That is like during 1980s there were specific efforts were made to bring development to the needy through the approach known as information education communication within the cultural matrix and motivation for participation in development. So, here whatever the development we talk about, that media has played a very important significant role in each stages. For example, in globalization economic reforms, as far as India is concerned, introduced in 1991, it is not only this globalization not only revolutionized the economic development, it also revolutionized the communication, and it has brought the latest technology, and it has decentralized and ensured the participatory democracy, and it has talked about the sustainability for the future development. Like that, in Rodrigo in the year 1989, after explaining the limitations of the Rostov model or Lerner or Rogers approaches of development communication, she has called for the receiver centered bottom up approach. She emphasized the popular participation and facilitation of personal expression and dialogue, and said for any development program to be successful, it has to be integrated and coordinated with the needs of the people. That is very important. Even whatever the, as I have mentioned, whatever the policies, programs we have implemented at the grassroots level, one must ensure that whoever will get benefit out of these particular policies and programs, they should be actively participated in the entire process. That is more important. So, lack of understanding of the needs of the local communities is the major setback in achieving the desired goals. So, according to Roger, he explained that it is explained the limitations of top down model based on modernization, and he has proposed the alternative, that is the whoever received the communication, we must provide the importance to the receiver, that is more important, and we need to democratize the entire communication process. So, when we look at the development process and development theory as well as communication, it needs to go hand in hand. So, simultaneously both have to grow. Whatever the development process or whatever the development theory we are talked about, the communication play a very pivotal role in the entire process. Hence, we could see the drastic changes in the development communications from one-way asymmetrical model to the two-way symmetrical model, as well as the active participation of the receiver. Hope you understood the significance of communication in the entire development process. Whatever the development theory developed over a period of time, and the whatever the alternative development model proposed by the scientist, the communication played a very vital role in the entire process. The communication also has changed tremendously from the asymmetrical model of the communication to the symmetrical model of communications by ensuring the active participation of the people. Thank you.